Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Freaks here once again, and I'm bringing you game 2 between SBKillerDram, the blue Zerg up here on the top left of Antica Shipyard, and Headshots, the red Terran here on the bottom right. And I think I mentioned it before, but I think that MLG Antica Shipyard has probably been the most popular map for the second game after ESB Cornhole Compound. I'm surprised how many people picked it. But at least here in the bronze silver bracket, I haven't watched the replays from the gold platinum that Will casted and uploaded. But anyway, Headshot did take that game just straight with drop shenanigans, man. Those things work, and man, he's sticking in these games. He's winning them just from those drops that do devastating damage to mineral lines and macro damage, and then just walks in with a big old push while his opponent is trying to recuperate with their probe, drone, SCV, whatever count. You see another early spawning pool coming from SBKillerDram, which wasn't too effective last time because of that wall. He didn't get those lings in fast enough, and they all died. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro, Han? What the hell? What are you whining about? I don't see anything strange going on here. Looks like you lagged out. Let's go again. Alright, I didn't notice anything, but whatever. Obviously this is like a pretty big replay file, so I don't think anything is going to happen. Just continue on. Yeah, he's still in. Okay, they had some problems there apparently, but oh well. That's the one bad thing about StarCraft 2 that I know everybody has complained about is the fact that there's no LAN and you have connection issues and all kinds of junk like that. LAN would be nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not essential. But anyway, those 6 lings, I don't know, I mean, that spawning pool is done, and those lings didn't come out at the same time that he had them out last time, so this early spawning pool doesn't seem like it's as, well, it wasn't really effective last time, but I don't think it's working to its potential. It's kind of wasted that he made it that early without making lings, to at least get some map control or something. He, well, you see Headshot here, he's trying to do some scouting. Hasn't quite found his opponent. Maybe he did. I don't know. Well, he's just got him. Maybe he scouted him and he just had him on a queue up, so he just went down here first and is going back to base. Okay, so I think he knows where he's at. Let's see Headshot. Yeah, he found him. He scouted him. I was just busy dicking around, didn't notice that SCV went to the base, but oh well. Queen's out. Got his inject going, and I'm hoping to see that. Some kind of earlier expansion from Dram, because sitting around on one base like we saw that last game wasn't too effective, especially with that big old drop. If it gets on 2 base, he can definitely get another queen out, get some more injects, and get a lot more units out than he had before. What did he have, like 4 roaches and a handful of zerglings? That's nothing for 2 medevacs loaded with marines and marauders plus stim. That's the worst thing, stim packs. That makes and breaks engagements. Got his Evo chamber in a baneling nest. Okay, so he's gonna try to go for some banelings this time instead of roaches, and I think I like that idea because banelings are just very scary for Terran players, and if you keep them around, you can definitely contain Terran players with them because just they're too scared to move out, especially when you make a lot of bio units like Headshot like to do, and they're actually really effective for cleaning up drops as well. You know, if they drop and they drop a lot of them at once, you can just roll in with a bunch of banelings and just destroy it. Now, if they drop one at a time and you waste 1 baneling at a time, that isn't too cost effective. But if they drop and they completely unload those medevacs and you just roll in with a big ball of banelings, you can clean up that drop really quick. So we'll see if he decides to do that. And then honestly, I don't know if Headshot's actually too comfortable with a lot of other builds, because we can see he's doing exactly the same thing he did last time. He's got 2 barracks, and then he's going for his factory. We'll see if he puts a reactor on that factory, and if he does, you know, I would say for standard Terran play that he could probably be going for some Hellions. You know, if against Zerg, those are really useful. But if he puts a starport, he's obviously just going to switch that starport over, put 2 medevacs out, and let's go for a drop. The drop king Headshot. He's a boss. But we can see KillerDram didn't actually go for that fast expansion, so He still is going to be putting away on one base. Same with his opponent. Yeah, we can see that Starport goes down, so that's what's going to happen. So basically, he should be used to being dropped at this point, and he should be prepared for another drop. And if he has a decent amount of banelings out by the time that drop comes around, he's easily going to be able to defend it. That's probably one of the most important things he needs to do, though, is just defend that initial drop, because if that does damage, he's too far behind, as we saw that last game, and he cannot recover from it fast enough before Headshot just walks up his ramp with a big old bio ball. So I'm hoping he can get some banelings out and actually defend the drop that comes this time, because I know, we all know. Wait a minute. I thought that was a reactor, but it's actually a tech lab. And he is making a medevac. So, okay, a little bit different style right there. He'd rather go for some tanks with that drop, but he's still going for those 2 medevacs, maybe 1 medevac. Who knows what he's going to use? But if he goes for 2, he's going to be a little bit later than he was last time, giving Dram a little bit extra time to get some more units out. But I'm pretty confident that he's just going to go straight for that drop once again, possibly, because what, the past 1, 2, 3. Like 4 or 5 games he's had, because last tournament he played exactly the same way. He just went straight for drops. While sieging that tank, he might actually be confident in just sticking back in his base and not dropping. Maybe he's actually changing it up for once. We'll have to wait and see what he does with that. As he's putting his expansion down and relatively early. That's actually a lot earlier than he usually does. I like that. A little golf clap for Headshot. Golf clap, like that early expansion. And if he gets that up and running, he's easily going to get that macro lead on his opponent, which is kind of flip-flop because the Zerg usually is 1 base ahead at all times. And you can see right here clearly Dram is expecting another drop. He's got the spread of overlords all over the place, as well as the spore crawlers sitting here at the back of his mineral line, hoping to shoot down any medevacs that try to drop marines and marauders in his base. No, that's not going to happen. 10 lings in production. He's already got, what is his, 8? He's got 14 right there. What he needs to do, though, is get his expansion up and ready, because his opponent is getting this expansion down, and if Terran gets 2 base over a 1 base Zerg, we all know how that's going to end. So, we do see that 2 medevacs are out, but he's not loading anything up into them, so maybe he is not going for a drop this time. Maybe he's changed it up. I don't suspect that he's going to drop if he's waited this long to go for it. Maybe he's just... This always makes me laugh. Look, he's not even going to go for his natural this time. He's going to go for his 3rd. That is just completely open to attack. So hard to defend. And I don't know what the logic behind that is. I think that might be an actual good use for the load up feature of that command center, because it'll take forever for you to get your SCVs all the way around, you know, when you can just float them over there and drop. But still, that is very, very standard. Load up the command center at 11 minutes and 45 seconds and float it over here to the well, what would you call that? This is your first, this is your second, or first expansion, second, third, and fourth. I suppose that's like your opponent's... Shit, I don't even know if this would get used, unless it's like a long ass game. So, very standard expansion. But I suppose that it's not going to be that useful, because he's not going to be transferring anything over to it. He's just going to mine away at these minerals in his main, and then have to do a huge STV transfer over to this one, because right now he's only got, what, three over there. But it's clearly giving him a little bit of an advantage. He's got close, I guess it's around 100 minerals per minute more, maybe 200, 300, but those mules just getting around that point. And he's definitely got more gas income. Dram's just content to sit here with his lings and blings. He also does need to expand, though. It's 13 minutes in the game. He's sitting on 1 base. He needs to get an expansion going, but he's making a roach warren. And roaches to this ling and bling army. Roaches weren't very good. I don't know if he learned that last game against marauders and tanks. Not the best option, but I wouldn't go just for roaches. Get lings, blinks, and probably throw some mules in there. But He's got 400 minerals. He really needs to get a hatchery down. Looks like Headshot is going to move out now, and yes, he did not do a drop. So I guess we can expect other things from Headshot now. He's going to move out with 5 tanks and Marines and Marauders and a handful of medevacs here. This could be a scary push. He doesn't know, yeah, he scanned. He knows that Dram doesn't have a whole lot of units other than Blings and Blings. Put a couple spines up. Could do some work against armored units, but I don't know for sure right now. He's got Blings are just going to be running out. God. He is going to load up and drop right into the main. This could be a good time to use those Banelings. He needs to get them up there. Is he pulling them back? Yes, he is, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. He's going to siege those tanks up. Yep, he sieges the tanks, and that's going to be very difficult for those Blings to get in range. Oh no. Well, 2 tanks down, and the Wings are going to swarm in. He's got a tank on the bottom. This is going to get cleaned up. It looks like that is. That drop got cleaned up by Dram. Very good work. Those Blings and Lings, they clean it up. But from the front door right here, he's got Infestors spitting out a bunch of infested Terrans. Did not expect that. I expected a fungal. Those are probably going to help him clean this up very quickly. Alright. That was a good decision for SBKillerDram to go for those infested Terrans rather than fungal growth. But there is a slight problem. He's got a siege tank down here at the bottom. Although it doesn't have vision up there, that could be annoying if he ever decides to scan and he's got, you know, some structures down here or something like that. But right now, maybe he's gonna go for some infestor kind of plays. He knows that the tank's right there. Spawn a bunch of infested Terrans. Oh, one. Did he learn that from StarCraft Master? Just one at a time and starts blowing up the Marines. That's pretty cool. I like that. And he's running the Marines away. He's like, fuck you. That's awesome. Still on one base. He needs to get that expansion up. Really needs to get that natural up. Or else he's just going to fall farther and farther behind. Although, I mean, we do see here that although Headshot does have his expansion, he's only got 2 Marauders, 2 Marines, and a tank. If somehow Dram could get these Lings and Blings inside the base, he could do a lot of work. I think Headshot was very focused on that drop because you can see he's stockpiled nearly 3,000 minerals. So he wasn't focusing on any sort of production. While his army was out at Dram's base, he could just expand once again, maybe double expand, and then further increase his lead over Dram economically. But right now, just he's tacking down a bunch of reactors. I guess we're going to see a whole lot of Marines, guys. Oh, come on, Jason. Don't exploit the fact that I don't set myself on busy. I'll reply to you when I can, bud. I need to remember to do that a little bit more, don't I? First it's Ken, or actually first it's Dave, now it's Ken. And also Jason. Jason making a cameo experience on his J-Lily, by the way, if you guys don't know. He's playing Skora this week. That should be a decent game. Both are very good players. But why am I talking about that when we've got a big stream of Lings going across the map here? He's going for an attack. Lots of SCVs. Could he get the kill? Or could he get the jump on those SCVs? If he could, that would be devastating. Yes, he's going to chase them down. He's going to kill all of them. I knew this was going to happen. Once he mined out at his main, he'd have to transfer a bunch of Marines over, or excuse me, SCVs over to his natural. Because look at this distance you've got across, and it leaves him so vulnerable. If he could get some good fungals off with that army and just run those Banelings right into a big ball, that would be very awesome. I'd love to see something like that happen. Just gonna creep those infestors up. There's no detection, none whatsoever for for Headshot rather. Gonna move them up there, and what's his choice? What's he gonna do? And lots of infested Terrans. Is he gonna kill the tanks? If you kill those tanks, that would be amazing. You can get a really good jump on Headshot right now. But this tank are just, oh no, he had, He wasted all those buildings, or all those banelings all over those barracks, and they could have wiped out this army. I guess a little bit of a misclick there, though he did intend to have that enable attack buildings on so he could bust through that supply depot, but then they ended up getting wasted on these barracks, which is just no good at all. He could have destroyed this bio ball with those banelings. Check out the income tab once again. We can see that headshot. Although he didn't take a hit to his income after all those SCVs died, he is still very far ahead of his opponent because his opponent is nearly mined out and is just not reproducing his drones after he creates buildings like these spore crawlers and such. But he is creating more. He's getting back on to his macro with this natural right here. He will be able to try to keep it up on par with headshot. He's doing a excuse me, can't talk today. Doing a good job of keeping up with them. He should have expanded a long time ago, and he also should be on 3-4 base at this point in the game, 22 minutes. But his opponent hasn't expanded too much either, so he is relatively safe. Their incomes are starting to even out at this point, but with those mules are clearly giving headshot an edge. Produced a lot of units, and that's what's going to make this game is all those minerals and gas that Headshot was able to stockpile while he was doing that first push. You see he's created all these kinds of marines, tanks, marauders. He's got a great big army forming right here at 23 minutes in the game, and Dram on the other hand doesn't have so much. It looks like he's focusing on getting his drone count up, but he's just got a couple of roaches and lings. He's not going to be able to push off a huge push like this should Headshot decide to push out at this point, which it looks like he's about to do. That is a lot of marines. That's a lot of marines. That is no fun, especially with no banelings, though. I don't think that would be too effective at this point. There's so many marauders. Those would just clearly absorb all of that damage from banelings. I don't know what Dram is able to do right here. Well, he can obviously see with this infestor what's going on. He can see the size of Headshot's army. He knows what's coming. So he can see that the stream of units here is just going to be so devastating if he doesn't have a comparable... Man, I've just been doing that way too much today. Comparable army. I was going to decide to get his natural here. There he goes. Awesome. He's getting that natural. Natural is beginning to go up at 24 minutes in the game. Very, very standard. I compliment you, Headshot, on that. That is awesome. Great job getting that natural up there. Keeping up on your macro for sure. That's something I haven't checked on in a while. It's upgrade. Let's see, he's 1-1. Sorry. A lot of issues happening between these two players. At the beginning of the last game and now this one several times. Dram is on 2-2, so a substantial upgrade lead, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference when it comes to the final battle here. A little bit of a baneling mine right there. Not too bad of an idea. God, this is just a massive bio ball. We're just playing the waiting game right now. We are waiting for that final push. I wonder if they paused it and we didn't really notice at the time. He's got a couple SCVs starting in that army, but the bio ball is just massive, and I don't think, even with this Baneling landmine, I don't think it's going to be enough for Dram to be able to push it back. He's making his push. Just now starting to get 2-2 upgrades. He's making this push, and I honestly think this is going to be game over for Dram. Check out the army value. Let's check that out. God, you can obviously tell how much bigger Headshot's army is than Dram's. Just such a massive lead. That Baneling landmine took out a good chunk of Marines, but no Marauders, sadly. But that was able to put I suppose, a decent-sized dent in that army, but it was just still far too many Marines and Marauders for Dram to handle. And it's going to be GG here very soon. opting to pull back instead of going in to finish him off. I wonder why he is doing this. Alright. Or maybe he's just going to load up and drop into the main. Possibly. There he goes. And one dies, but it's still going to be a lot. The Banelings did kill them. Killed a couple Marines there, but it's just not enough. He's blustering here. He's struggling to kill all of these Marines and Marauders. And yeah, it's just far too much for Dram to handle, and I'm expecting a GG at some point in the near future. This does not look good for Dram at all. There's nothing you can do about this. It's just painful to watch. It really is. It makes me cry. The drone retaliation. Just trying to escape. Not even going to try and attack this ball. They're just going to run out of there. And probably just be very, very annoying trying to expand somewhere else on the map. The main has been completely devastated. Wasted spore crawlers. Some of these didn't even fire a shot. He's going to rebuild his base over here at his 4th expansion, or what would be his 4th, but now he's going to turn into his main. Very, very, very sneaky and cheesy. Or not. There you... Okay. I thought he was going to go for an expand down there, but he just went ahead and left the game. No GG, no nothing. I don't want to call that a rage quit, but, you know, because you never know what's going on at the other side of the screen. But anyway, Headshot does take this series 2-0. SBKillerDram is being sent to the loser's bracket, and Headshot staying in the winner's bracket. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it was too much of an exciting series, because we see a lot of similar play that we've seen before from Headshot. He did change it up a little bit this game, but still very, very basic bio ball stuff. Not too exciting, but either way, he did win. It did work, and he's staying in the winner's bracket. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for next week's cast from Hivemind's Summer Tournament. Thanks.